So you know what brain fog feels like, right? Well, maybe that's why you're watching this video. What was I talking about again? No, I'm just kidding. Brain fog, low energy, scattered focus. There was a time where this was my life. I wake up feeling groggy. I tried everything, supplements, diets, coffee, started doing a little bit of ice baths, and they kind of worked for a little bit. But what actually worked when I started doing this completely different thing that's super simple, just takes a little bit of dedication, okay? Ironically, obviously, you might know if you follow me, the thing that cleared my mind was learning how to hold my breath. Sounds crazy, right? So just let me explain. So just stick around, watch this video and explain exactly what you gotta do to try this and see if it works for you. And I promise you, if you stick with it, it'll change the way you breathe, how you think, and how you live. It can be a complete game changer. The real cause of brain fog actually isn't a thinking problem, it's a breathing problem. So modern life really leads to chronic overbreathing. All the stresses, something might happen to us when we're younger, a traumatic event, or just being in this crazy flow of life, and leads us to be in a stress state, sympathetic, so we breathe shallow through our mouth, most of us, and quickly. And what happens when we do that is we breathe out all the CO2. CO2 is not a waste gas. It's actually very important because carbon dioxide is what actually delivers oxygen into your cells, your muscle tissue, your brain. So if we keep blowing it off, we have a lower amount that can do these things. And then you have poor circulation, you might feel cold in your feet and hands all the time, brain gets foggy, or you have scattered thoughts, maybe ADHD. Oxygen is not the problem. It's what signals you to want to breathe. It's actually when your CO2 drops, that gives you that feeling to breathe. And when the CO2 is too low because of all of this overbreathing, due to what's called the Bohr effect in science, causes really poor oxygen delivery. So you can have a truck full of groceries, but if the bridge is closed, if you're a driver, you're not gonna be able to deliver it to where you gotta go and you're gonna lose your job. Nothing gets delivered. Same thing. When you don't have CO2, not enough oxygen is getting delivered. So you might be running out on the shelves. Have you ever noticed that? How do you breathe? Do you breathe quickly? Do you breathe shallow? How many breaths per minute? Are you taking slow, relaxed breaths deep into your diaphragm? And are you pausing and extending your exhale? So the wake-up call happened. I was yawning all day, foggy, forgetful, wired but tired, drinking coffees, trying to stay up. I tested everything, even tried some supplements, biohacks, caffeine. That's why I say before taking supplements, make sure you fix your breathing first, because it always came back. These are temporary fixes. I started getting into breath work, and I started finding about the Buteyko method and seeing that okay, it's not about breathing more and feeling this euphoric state for breathing, some of the breath works I was doing. It's about actually CO2 tolerance. And I started learning about that, everything started to click. Okay, and it helped me sleep better performance, more energy, and of course, clearer mind and no brain fog. So breath holds will help you to train your CO2 tolerance. Your CO2 tolerance is the amount of CO2 you can handle before you feel that urge to breathe. It's not just about breathing deep, it's about learning to tolerate less breathing. So this is the thing. So when we breathe less, CO2 goes up, your body adapts to be able to handle more carbon dioxide. And when you have more carbon dioxide, you have better oxygen delivery in the brain. I've seen so many people transform their lives. So number one, you got to breathe through your nose and breathe into your diaphragm, because when you breathe through your mouth, it's sympathetic. But I'll show you more about the actual practice. So it's think about weightlifting for your respiratory system. So if oxygen is the fuel, CO2 is what opens the tank. There's some simple things you can do, how you can practice. So number one is just slowing down your breath and do gentle breath holds. So gentle inhale, gentle exhale, hold until it feels uncomfortable, and then don't take a big gas spin. Slowly come back to normal. Walking and holding, take it a step further. Hold your breath, count your steps. When you feel that urge to breathe, slowly recover your breath and then do it again. Don't pass out while you're walking. Your neighbor's gonna think, what is going on? It's not about taking deep breaths so you can hold longer. It's about being gentle, just nudging and really staying in that uncomfortable zone as long as you can. The more you're in there, the more your body's gonna adapt. You can start noticing a clear mind, more energy, less anxiety, sharper focus. Very simple. Slow your breathing down. Even you can count breaths, like a box breath, 3 seconds in, 3 seconds hold, 3 seconds out, 3 seconds hold. When you start feeling that urge, if you're doing it for a few minutes, up it 4 seconds, 4 seconds, 4 seconds, 4 seconds. Your body will adapt over time. Just like when you go to the gym, you tear some muscle fibers, they're gonna come back stronger. You're wearing a shoe, you get a blister, it's gonna build a callus there. It's the same thing. You adapt your body to handle more carbon dioxide, it's gonna be more efficient, use it. Remember, this is why it works, is because CO2 isn't a waste gas. It's a regulator of the nervous system. And they're doing a lot more studies on CO2 now. Higher CO2 equals parasympathetic activation, which is calm, focused, present. When you have low CO2, you're breathing quickly through your mouth, you're more in the sympathetic, fight or flight, poor blood flow to the brain, tension, brain fog, all these things. Studies show that improving CO2 tolerance boosts cognition, emotional regulation, and stress resilience, along with getting rid of that brain fog. You want to add some stuff onto that? Start with the breath work, morning light, set circadian rhythm. Just get outside first thing, let the light shine you for a minute. Cold exposure is good for resetting the nervous system. A cold shower is all you need, 1 minute. Less caffeine, As you're doing this, you can see you don't need as much. It's actually like overstimulating the nervous system. And of course, less phone scrolling. Like that's going to really also mess with your nervous system as well. Breath holds are still part of my routine all the time. You can do apnea tables that divers do. You can look into that. But start with the simple exercise I gave you. And I promise you, within a few weeks, you start noticing a difference. Within a month, you're gonna start having crazy changes. And after 6 months, you're gonna be a completely different person. So you don't need more supplements. You don't need anything crazy. You don't need to drink more coffee, more caffeine. You need to start mastering your breath and building up your CO2 tolerance. You do that, your whole life is gonna change. And extra bonus, tape your mouth shut at night. Crazy hack, look online, you can find mouth tape on Amazon, a simple piece of tape. Breathing through your nose is gonna slow down your breathing at night, help you with your CO2 tolerance. The answer isn't out there somewhere hiding on the internet. It's inside of you, right under your nose, no pun intended. Try it. Let me know in the comments how it goes. When you master your breath, you master your mind, you change your life. Simple as that. I'm Gio from Elemental Rhythm. And if you need some help with breathwork stuff, check out the link below. Go to our website. We have all kinds of tools on breathwork that'll help you on this journey if you need it. Once you start feeling the effects of this, definitely check out the website. Have a great day. Peace.